So I think majority of us, in fact, I would say all of us, really do support the diversity agenda, any kind of an inclusion agenda. But the challenge really is that we really don't know what's the subconscious, deep-seated bias that we all come with. So I was reading this article very recently, and it gave a wonderful tip on removing some of the deep-seated biases that we have. And the tip is flip it. So it goes like this: that have you ever heard a woman being referred to as a working mother? I'm sure many a times, and in fact many of us possibly sitting here will be referred to as working mothers. But have you ever heard a man being referred to as a working father or a working dad? So really the idea is, if you cannot flip it, then that concept is showcasing a very deep-seated bias that you have. So if you can't flip it, don't say it. And that's how you can probably break the bias.
Personally, I feel quite honored and pleased to be part of this gen's workforce, and especially at ReNew, where women are not only actively engaged in our fight, towards climate change and other sustainability challenges, but they're actually leading it as well, in many ways, and setting new benchmarks for all of us. And just the emotional intelligence that they really bring to the table, along with, of course, the intellectual intelligence, is something that I think all of us should really emulate and look to emulate.
As women, we all have faced some sort of conscious or unconscious bias in our life, especially the women in STEM. This may be due to lack of better role models, lack of career opportunities, gender stereotype, or career interruption. The responsibility to avoid this, to pay the leveling field for others, lies with us, the ones who are already in this field and working our way through it. As an engineer, I hope to do so by proving that I am the best in the field, and I hope that my amazing friends and colleagues in this field will do the same. Happy Women's Day, everyone. Break the bias.
In terms of Women's Day and breaking the bias, I think it really starts with one's own internal biases. Sometimes we have our own internal biases in terms of interrupting women when they speak because we want to get our point across. Or sometimes we just don't listen enough, thinking our point of view is more important than maybe the women in the room. I think, we all pretend to be ticking the boxes and saying, Happy Women's Day. But really, if you want to make the change, you have to start from yourself. And that's what I aim to do each and every day going forward. Thank you. Happy Women's Day.
Breaking the bias means challenging the norms which are so engraved that we do not even question them. To me, breaking the bias means questioning these norms and
To me, 8th of March has two levels of understanding. At the personal level, it's a day to thank my mother who gave birth to me and brought me up, and to my wife who groomed me and made me what I am today. At the macro level, 8th of March is a day men should unite and ensure that women don't have any barriers in their professional and personal ambitions.
Our society, both at workplace and otherwise, has almost normalized biases. So much so that it has become a part of our subconscious mind. Why is it that it is almost always a woman who's asked to hand over bouquet or cut a cake in any ceremony? This may seem trivial, but this shows how deeply and subconsciously we have been wired towards these biases. And thus, it is essential that both men and women consistently work towards identifying and eliminating these biases. Only then we would be able to celebrate capabilities of an individual rather than reducing him or her to our perceived strengths and weaknesses of the broader cohort.
On this Women's Day, I recommend to engage in supportive partnership. What does that mean is be transparent in sharing the information, fair in evaluation, and allow freedom of expression without any biases. Be an ally to women, not only at workplace, but with family and friends. Happy Women's Day.